Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast, Mrs. and Makes. I'm Jay, and I got a special guest today for y'all. I got my mom Dukes in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
I actually traveled to Minnesota to see my mom, my family. It's my birthday weekend. Actually, it's tomorrow. Um, but I just wanted to get my mom on the show because y'all always talk about how brilliant I am and how much insight I give to people. But where do you think I get it from? You know what I'm saying? This special person right here. My mom is, she was a single parent mother, took care of four kids on her own. You know what I'm saying? And she worked extremely hard to get to where she's at right now. Got an amazing career going for herself. Just got married, so I just wanted to give her flowers. Extremely proud of her. Um, and I just want to let her have the floor to be able to share her story and be able to talk more about how she overcame all the things she overcame in her life. What advice would you give other single moms out there that's having a hard time just in everyday life?
Keep pushing. I mean, it might not seem like it in that moment, but the reward is bigger than the problem. Cause when I look at y'all now, all of y'all grown, all of y'all done been to school, none of y'all dropped out, y'all ain't been to jail. When you look at what you've done with them, the first thing I would say is what I see a lot now is people look at the kid like they the problem, you
Yeah,
know, because the father left, or some of the kids look just like their daddies.
yeah,
So I think that becomes a instant low key kind of hatred for the child. So
mm,
you begin to let that child do whatever, be whatever, act out, and you see a lot of that in public. So I'm
yeah.
just speaking about stuff that I see. Like, you could be at Walmart and you'll see somebody literally cussing their kid like they grown,
That's
literally,
crazy. Yeah.
and you looking like, why is you talking to that, like the kid can't be more than five,
Uh huh.
But I think that's now you're embedded in them, so now they become cussers. For me, you look just like your father. Quezzy looked just
Nah,
like his
facts.
daddy,
Yeah.
so I could never feel the same way, because now I'm looking at they my
Yeah.
babies, and then I wanted y'all to be better than the seeds that y'all came from.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's probably one of the best things that being a mom, a single parent, is able to elevate my children, is because y'all was able to see what I went through. And,
Yeah.
and even though I was doing things I didn't have no business, I was still teaching y'all, don't be like me. You do as I say, not as I do, right?
Yeah. Uh huh.
So y'all didn't have to go through that. Like, yes, I dated some men I shouldn't even never knew my name, let alone slept in my bed. But I'm still teaching you and your brother to be great. Get a job, take
Yeah.
care of you, learn to cook, learn to do your laundry, so
Yep.
you don't have to depend on a woman. Here I was dating somebody who literally I should have put back on Broadway somewhere. So
Shit, put him right back on Broadway. For real. No, I get that. That's real. Definitely.
if, like, you really gotta instill in your kids what you want, and I've been telling y'all that since y'all was little. I want you to be better than me, because being like me is not gonna work. But if
Yeah.
you better than me, then I did my job.
Wow. Okay. I love that. That's amazing. You hear this? How amazing my mom is. So tell us about like the hardest points in your life, and how did you overcome them? Like, how did you overcome some of the hardest moments in your life?
um wow, I think some of the hardest points, I didn't know these gonna be so difficult.
Yeah.
um
I gotta
if
give you a
y'all see me looking
challenge.
over here, it's because I'm working, so I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing nothing.
Hey, look.
I think the hardest point of my life was when I went away, when I went to jail, and not being able to physically see y'all and hold y'all, um, and recap why did I do that?
Yeah.
Did I really think that all the way through? Uh, because I was in a relationship, so, or was I more focused on protecting him?
I hear
uh,
you.
and I think that's a harsh reality that you have to come to, no matter what happened. At the end of the day, my decisions took me away from my kids. So I
Yep.
think that was the hardest thing that I ever had to overcome, because when I got out, we didn't have anything. So I was back to square one, struggling. The people that you thought would be there for you, the people who you looked out for, reached for, even took in, they wasn't able to give me that back. But
Yeah.
instead of building that up like they owed me something, which they did, uh, I looked at it like, you need to get it. And one thing I do know how to do is get it. And so I think that's probably one of the hardest things I ever had to overcome, because you expect people to be like you. You know, you expect, because I'm a giver, you expect people to be givers.
Yep.
And that's just not the way the world is.
Yeah, at all. Yeah, I remember I was just telling everybody like how I was a kid. I always say like I want to try to help everybody. My mom used to say you can't save everybody, son. Like for real, cause some people ain't gonna come and do the same for you. So
Well, I think the most important thing to remember that I try to make sure y'all know is that remember that takers don't have no limits.
hmm
They will take until you don't have nothing to give. And instead of trying to help you get it back, because they
yeah,
know you'll give it back, they gonna go take from somebody else.
yeah,
But see, givers, we have to get a limit, because takers don't have none.
right.
But when you get a limit to, like, you know what, I didn't gave you that. I
hmm
didn't gave you this. Now you need to figure out how to go get it.
Right, exactly.
They don't like you no more. So really, what you really doing is you really piecing the people who's supposed to be in your circle.
Yeah,
You know, at 50 years old, I really have realized my circle's always been small, though. It always been small.
yeah,
But
facts.
what I've realized at 50 is really how tiny it is. And I'm not mad at it,
Yeah,
because
nah.
it's peaceful
You got
there.
you got the real people around you, and you know what I'm saying. You can't. Some people want you to like fish for them, but I'd rather teach you how to do it. You feel me? That
Exactly.
way you can go fishing on your own.
Exactly. And then the old people used to say that I'm gonna give you the pole, and
On me.
I'm gonna give you a little fishing information and directions, but you gonna go catch your own fish.
Yeah.
Because if I keep throwing it out there, taking it off the rod for you,
Yep.
sticking my finger, you ain't learned nothing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then if I'm not here no more, then what? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like
You ain't gonna be able to
you're
fend.
not gonna be able to
No,
do
you
it.
gonna go leech on somebody else.
Yeah. So you're gonna find another person to take
Mhm.
advantage of, which is
Facts.
crazy.
Mhm.
That's wild.
Mhm.
So like, what's the advice to being able to find your person? Because you now that you found them, right? Like how does somebody obtain that?
I think the best advice on finding your person is stop looking.
Mm-hmm.
Being single for almost 10 years
Mm-hmm.
and really learning to love myself, I became better. I became a better housekeeper. I became a better cooker. I became a better person, because now I'm able to evaluate who Jadonna is,
Yeah.
spend time with myself,
Mm-hmm.
and things that I didn't know about myself that I realized I didn't even like that about me.
Yeah.
You
That's
know, so
beautiful.
I think it was that breakdown mentally about that. But when you find that person that genuinely loves you in spite of your flaws and can love you past your pain, that's golden. You know, and I tried to push Barron away at least 10 times. I broke up with Barron at
Yeah.
least 5 times. And I still don't know how he puts up with me sometimes, but he says it though. Like, I know you're a good woman, I know you're a good person, and I would be stupid to lose that. I'm not saying wake up with a bugaboo. I'm not saying that. If you can't look at them in the light, don't you cut the light out or you put them in the dark. I'm not saying that. What I am saying though is love who you love with no regrets. Be who you are with no regrets. And don't let the world take you in debt. Because I think that's one of the biggest lessons I had to learn too.
That was a gem. Like that last part you just said, don't let the world take. That's a gem.
Because
Like
we
for
will go
real.
in debt for the world.
Oh, me, we
You
would though.
know,
Like,
we'll be at home penny pinching, but we got the whole world thinking we doing good. That's the
yep.
stupidest thing you can do.
Y'all
And
focus
I'm
on
here to
you
tell
for
you,
real.
because y'all used to wear Jordans. They
On
came
me.
out. I bet you now y'all looking at y'all. So y'all probably ain't buying Jordans as an
I don't
adult.
buy. I haven't
You
bought a pair
might
of
get a
Jordans in
pair here
forever.
and there.
Yeah, for
You
real.
know what I'm saying? So don't go in debt for the world.
Yeah, I'm frugal. I ain't gonna even. Always a pleasure to speak with my mom. Like we talk all the time, whether it's to get a laugh or to like to share like information with each other or to help each other like get better. You know, that's one thing I always loved about me and my mom's like relationship. Just being able to build with each other, seeing my mom's growth as a person, as a woman, as a mom, like as a grandmother. Now she got all these grandbabies running around, which is amazing. But yeah, like my mom's 50 now, so she got so much insight.
You know, one thing that I love about the relationship that I have with all of my kids
Yeah.
is we gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about the good. We gonna talk about the bad. We gonna talk about the ugly.
hmm
You can't be afraid to let your kids know. Like I've never been the type like I'm not gonna tell them that because I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that I held back was more probably with Jaquez because he's the baby on
hmm
stuff we went through because he was so young.
Yeah.
You know, but now it's like it's a free game. If they want to know, they get to know. You know, and I always open that door for them. You know, if you want to come through it, come through it. If you want to
Yep.
ask me something, ask me something. You can't be afraid of your past either. You really got to get to a point where you let your past heal you. because that's
Yeah.
positive pressure to
Yeah.
the future,
Hmm.
and we should be out here applying positive pressure, right?
Yeah.
And they say pressure busts a pipe, but that don't mean it has to be negative pressure. We can bust pipes with some positive pressure.
Yep.
So
Facts.
I think that that's the biggest thing, is let that door be open, let that door stay open. I remember when y'all was younger.
Hmm.
Remember we used to have confession night once a
Yeah, I
week,
raised confession night, man.
and
That was
we
cool.
used to I used to allow my kids to tell me anything, so and they wouldn't get in trouble. I didn't like the fact that I found out my daughter had her belly button pierced, but and my youngest son knew. They was thick as thieves. They used to
Hey,
keep
yo.
secrets, but it was a way to connect with your children in a way where they knew that you was a safe place. And I thank God for that every day, because they was never afraid to tell me nothing. If they
Yeah.
got hurt, somebody was bullying them, if somebody was touching that door was always open.
Yeah, I can
So
say
I
that.
think it's important for us as the older generation, with the people coming up, not just my children and kids used to be at my house all the time. My
Yeah.
house was the place to be at. Mr. Donna's house was the place to be,
Yeah.
because they knew they could get love there, food there, and realness there. So I think that that's the key. The key is not to be afraid of the past,
Right.
not to be afraid to talk about it. Like we talk about my prison days, we talk about my bad relationships.
Yeah.
We laugh at some of them too, but which is why I wanted you to be better. Did you see some of the men I dated? They couldn't read. That's why I wanted you to go to school.
Man, yeah.
They couldn't cook. That's why I wanted you to cook. Did you see some of the stuff he wore? That's why I want you to know how to do your
Don't wear
laundry.
that,
So
I
I
got you.
think that it's a healthy place to come from when it shows you're healed,
Yeah.
because I think that's the biggest thing, is healing from those things that made us who we were, right? So a lot of them was mistakes, mishaps, just stupid, right? Let's just call it what it is. Someone was just stupidity.
Yeah.
But I think it made me who I am today,
Oh,
because
definitely.
I'm able to look back at it and know I'm not gonna do. I know what type of man I'm not gonna date. I know
Nah,
how I'm not
facts.
gonna be touched. I know how I'm not gonna be talked to. I know how I'm not gonna be cussed at. You're not gonna get away with treating me any kind of way.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, because those bad relationships got me here. And I'm not saying without them I wouldn't be here, because this was already my journey, right?
Yep.
I don't question my journey. My journey was already set, and I'm just going through it. But I think if we continue to apply that positive pressure, we feed that into, like, now I got 5 grandchildren.
Yep.
I'm able to feed that into my grandbabies.
Yeah.
It's important to me to fly to Texas to see my granddaughter, as opposed to just sending her stuff. It's important to
Yeah.
me to see all my grandsons that even live here. You know what I'm saying? I'm quick. Can you hit up? Absolutely. Bring them over.
Yeah.
Because now I'm building them relationships in a special way. Even though I was very active in y'all's life, never missed school stuff, always popped up. Even in my street life, I was still y'all's mother. It's a different era now, because I'm not balancing the streets and my grandkids.
Yeah.
You
Facts.
see what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm balancing my life and my grandkids. So it's a totally different balance, but it's well worth it. So the best advice I would give people is keep applying that positive pressure and don't give up.
Either way, I want to say thank y'all for tuning in to the podcast, Mrs. and Mates. It was always a pleasure, like I said, having my mom here and just being able to share with y'all. So we love y'all, man, and we'll see y'all again next week. You feel me? I'll try to the deuces on y'all. All right, y'all.